Welcome to Buffalo After Dark, everybody. It's your Wednesday night uncensored, unfiltered, and unafraid sports show. You still up? This episode of Buffalo After Dark starts now. Welcome to Buffalo After Dark, everybody. It is Wednesday night, December 14th, and of course, we're here as we usually are. So, Bob, how's your week going?
Thanks, Tom. I would say my week is going pretty good so far. Just working normal hours, and then, of course, just trying to stay warm because it's getting pretty cold down here on the island. And yeah, I'm excited for the Bills game on the weekend. You know, as I have to work for a little bit, so by the time I get home, it should be ready to go. And the Sabres won the night before, and so life has been good.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's actually been a pretty good week over on my end too. It's actually one of the things we'll talk about in a little bit is the Sabres getting some nice wins, that nice domination win against the Kings the other night. And of course, we'll kick it off with some Alex Ovechkin news. So for anyone who wants to jump on, 92920560099 gets you on the air. And of course, we're live on Facebook chat right now as well. So anyone who wants to drop us a line, feel free to do so. And one of the biggest things that came out, and a lot of people were thinking that this would happen fairly soon, and it's actually something that I got to see highlights of the other night. But Alex Ovechkin is now the third player in NHL history to reach 800 goals.
You know what? Honestly, I'm very happy for Ovi. I really am, and I respect him as a hockey player. It's one of the greatest to ever do it. And he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. But the achievements that Alex Ovechkin has been able to accomplish within the last 5.5 years is absolutely unremarkable. I honestly cannot think of a better player that deserves to be in this competition, or not competition, in this club than Alex Ovechkin. And I figured that a few years ago when he hit the 600 mark, I kept wondering to myself, is he able to reach the record that was held by Wayne Gretzky? And then 2 years later, he ends up going to 700. Then I'm like, oh, damn, he could definitely do it. And now he's at 800. And it just in life, you know, everything that's happened with him in the last 2 years, it's happened all so fast. And it's incredible to watch, really. But it is a hell of an achievement from what Ovi has been able to do. And I'm not even a Caps fan. And even though I respect Ovi, and you know, this is a hell of a milestone, and he will definitely be one of the greatest goal scorers of all time.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, one of the things I will tell you, when Alex Ovechkin won that Stanley Cup for the first time, I was definitely rooting for him on that. And I was glad to see him finally get that, because he definitely paid his dues. And then for him to reach 800 the other night, I mean, that was just absolutely great to see. And he did that in Chicago and on a hat trick on top of it. So there we go. But just to see like everything he's done the last several seasons, I mean, with the exception of the COVID shortened season, couple of years ago, I mean, the last 5 years, he hasn't scored less than 48 goals a season. I mean, what does that tell you? That's greatness.
It tells you a lot. And plus, you also have to keep in mind, he's 37 years old. So that's at this point of his career, players like him would be hanging them up by now, you know, in terms of age. But Ovi, I don't know what he's doing to keep his body in check, but he's taking really good care of his body, and he's really working his ass off to make this accomplishment for himself. And do I think he could reach 894? Absolutely, because he only needs 2 goals to surpass Gordie Howe's 801, and that's it. He needs 1 to tie it, and he needs 2 to break it, and then he's on his way to get to Wayne Gretzky. So I think for Ovi to accomplish that, I think is absolutely remarkable. It's going to be one of the most unforgettable, you know, moments in NHL history for someone like Alex Ovechkin to be performing at the elite level that he is. I don't even know if elite would be describing him, because that guy is just a walking legend right now.
He's in a class of his own, honestly.
Absolutely.
I mean, and just all the stuff he's been able to do. I mean, averaging, I mean, if you look back at his career and the fact that he's scored, most of his seasons are 40 plus a year, that's incredible on its own. And then even to think about it, in his 5th season, when he ended up scoring like 65 goals, I mean, we haven't seen numbers that high, and I can't even remember how long. He's been able to go over 50 multiple times, and he just does everything right. He keeps himself in shape. He's like, literally, he's like probably one of the prototypical captains I would want on a team if I were to ever be building a team from the ground up. I mean, he leads that team, he plays well, he plays hard, he expects excellence from everybody, he's not afraid to drop the gloves, he's beat the living crap out of people on the ice before, he's been suspended for hits before, he plays the game the right way. And the way I look at it, he's definitely a leader among men. Now, here's another good point I'd want to bring up too. And this is actually something we can debate a little bit. Ovi versus Crosby. Who do you think the better of the two players is long-term? And here's what I will say. My argument is Ovechkin. Pure goal scorer, way better than Crosby. The assist side, Crosby has that more, and he's got like over 100 some more assists in his career in less time. But on the flip side, Ovechkin, I think, does more than what Crosby does on the ice in terms of his overall leadership, and he basically carries that Caps team in a lot of the early seasons. He totally carried them. Now he has a really good surrounding cast, and of course Laviolette's a great coach. Everything works well.
I would argue though with Crosby only for the fact that when he first came out of the Quebec majors, I remember when he was a 17-year-old, everyone compared him to Wayne Gretzky. Everybody did, including myself. But nobody thought in a million years that Alex Ovechkin would be where he is today. Sidney Crosby is a great player on his own. But I would say as a playmaker, definitely Crosby. But as far as skating mobility and the scoring ability, definitely Ovechkin. I would definitely give that to him. Crosby, though, he may have more cups, but Ovi is beating the living fuck out of him in statistics, in terms of assists, goals, points per game, etc. I think he actually beat Crosby in over 1,000 points, if not more, at that point of his career. I mean, both of them are first ballot Hall of Famers, no question about it. But Ovechkin is carrying the Washington Capitals, and he's been doing it for almost 20 years.
Right.
I mean, he's the soul of he's the heart and soul of the Washington Capitals, as if it was the equivalent to Ray Lewis with the Baltimore Ravens. It's the same story.
Right. Or even look when Shane Doan was playing, same thing. He was the heart and soul.
Yeah, but Shane Doan was a great player in Arizona as it all. But we're talking about like Hall of Fame status,
Right.
You're talking about Sid and Ovi. Both of them are great players in their own conception. But if it came down to Sidney Crosby or Ovechkin or Alex Ovechkin, I would definitely take Ovechkin.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen Crosby play in person multiple times. I haven't seen Ovechkin play in person yet, which actually that's one of the things I definitely do want to do at some point, before Ovechkin decides to hang up the skates at some point. But
well, I could definitely tell you from as an Islander fan, watching the Caps numerous amount of times throughout my life, including the playoffs, Alex Ovechkin is lightning quick. He is so good with the puck. When watching him in person is so different than it is on TV. He is such an amazing athlete to what he can do. I mean, for his age and for his longevity in Washington, there's already been a comment by Ted Leonis that said that if we're going to trade Ovi in the future, we want to do it after he breaks the record.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, and I honestly wouldn't even bother trading him to be honest, but
I would just make him a Cap for life.
Yeah, exactly. And your point about Ovechkin too, when I saw Crosby play live in person, I mean, he definitely, it's different watching him. It's like you're watching an entire different class of player, to be honest. And just some of the things that he can do in terms of being super quick, and especially with the hands, it's just absolutely amazing how he can stick handle the puck. It's amazing what he can do defensively, but just getting up into his zone and making players miss and creating those offensive chances, it's totally different compared to what you would see with standard players. So that's kind of how I look at it. And that's one of those things. That's why I would love to see Ovechkin at some point too, just to see what he can do in person. I mean, he'd be great to watch. And actually, before we get into Adam here too, because he just jumped on, our long lost friend Vinny Torcasio is in the chat.
No way.
Yeah, and he actually has a Sabres question for us. And he said, do you guys think we can make the playoffs? Well, just hold on to that thought because we're going to talk about that. And actually, Vinny, if you want to call in, it's 929-205-6099 and the meeting info's in the chat. Give us a shout. We'd love to talk to you. It's been a while.
Yeah. Luffy,
Hey, you pieces of dog shit.
what's up, ass licker?
Just got done some wasting money for Christmas bullshit.
Oh,
There
Merry
you
Christmas.
Yeah, no, I don't like wasting fucking money on pointless fucking gifts. That just pisses me off. But
I'm the same way.
I'm fucking obligated this time of year, I guess.
Yeah, it's bad enough I got to do that this weekend.
I'm already locked in on that. Trust me, boys.
You notice I changed my name.
Yeah, it says.
Yeah.
What the fuck does it say?
We can't even lose right.
Oh my god. I want to talk about that when we get to football. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. But no, we're actually in the middle of just talking about Alex Ovechkin reaching 800 goals. So do you want to give your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I will say, and I think everybody's going to say the same thing. If anybody deserves to beat the grade 8 or to be the grade 8, he has to beat the great 99. And you know what? I give him a season and a half more, and I think he'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps his body in check, and I was mentioning this comment to Tom not too long ago, and we were just talking about longevity, and he's 37 years old, and he keeps his body in check, and at the same time, he's been scoring goals rapidly every year, aside from the short, pandemic and lockout years. But outside of all that, he's consistently scoring 30, 40, 50 goals a year, and the guy can do it. And I definitely think he's capable of it. I mean, he's only got 20 goals in the season. The season's not even halfway done yet. And he could definitely reach around like 830 or something like that if he's capable of doing it.
Well, yeah. I think too, though, is that he, even if he doesn't score 40 goals a year, even if he scored, if he played 3 more years and he scored 20 goals a season, he's still going to get there. But he'll still get there either way. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you figure, the last 5 seasons, except for the COVID year, he ended up scoring over, it's like the lowest goal total he had per season was 48 goals. So, you figure he's good for at least another 25 or 30, I would say, this season. So that's going to put him a really good, like halfway there. And then you figure, next season, which obviously we know he's going to be playing next season. So you figure he scores like another 40 or 50 a season, then
I'm just knocking on wood. I'm knocking on wood because I don't want to jinx the guy. I don't want him to fucking. I'm going to say a season and a half just for the fact that I'm going to take into account that he is getting old, and he could break a hip or who knows, right? So I don't want to bring the guy bad luck. I want him to break the record because Gretzky's era is way over and done with, and I need to stop talking about him.
I think for him to reach Wayne Gretzky, I definitely think for his capability, I definitely think is doable. Ovi's been scoring 600, 700, 800 goals in the last 6 years. It took him 6 years ago, and I looked back on tape on YouTube about it. 6 years ago, he scored 600. 4 years ago, he scored 700. And then, 2 years ago it was 700. 4 years ago it was 600. So every 2 years, he's always chasing his goals. And it's coming at a rapid pace with Alex Ovechkin. The dude is so good. Like, you can't deny that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, not to mention, too, I'd like to bring up the fact that piece of dog shit, that guy named Pierre Maguire?
Oh, yeah.
I fucking hate that piece of dog shit. And I remember one time before, it was like a couple years ago when Elliot Friedman asked him, was it Elliot Friedman? I don't know, maybe. Anyways, someone asked him if he thought that Ovechkin could catch Gretzky. And he said something like a smug comment, like, he's not going to catch how? Now, Pierre Maguire, you feel stupid now, you piece of dog shit? Yeah, because you don't know anything about hockey. You're a bum.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, to be fair, I ignored Pierre Maguire all these years when he was stick sucking Crosby.
I fucking hate when he used to like in between the benches of Leafs games, and he'd be like just trashing the Leafs the whole game, and it used to irk the shit out of me. I'd stop watching games because his voice irked the shit out of me so bad.
Well, I mean, I don't even know where he is now. I mean, I don't even think he's in hockey anymore unless he's like in like a newscast of some Canadian network.
Dude, he's a fucking bum. He never deserved to be where he was at in the first place.
Yeah, he used to be really obnoxious on in America on NBC where the primetime games used to be a few years ago. And he would always, whenever the Penguins were on primetime, he'd always talk about Sidney Crosby, how great he was, and everyone else around him sucked. So, and I'm just like, oh, Sidney Crosby's the greatest player in 21st century or something like that. Some obnoxious bullshit or something like that.
I remember one time when Maguire was calling a game for the like in between the benches, and Darcy Tucker skated by and like kind of like shot his glove to the bench, but he tried to hit Maguire with it. Maguire's like, "Oh, you almost hit me." He's like, "Yeah, I fucking tried."
Yeah, except he missed.
Yeah, basically. But no, like I just think though, with Alex Ovechkin, it is truly a remarkable accomplishment of what he has been able to do in the last like 4 or 5 years. And I think, and again, I think with him scoring 50 goals in the next 2 years, I definitely think it's doable for him to catch Wayne Gretzky.
Dude, he's just so big and fucking strong. He even with age, he hasn't changed his type of play. He's still a rough and tumble, skilled shooter. So and yeah, he might be that one-dimensional fucking playmaker shot, like, you know what I mean? Like he has that one spot he loves to score from, but but no one solved him. And how many years he's been in the league? Nobody can still figure him out.
Yeah, almost 20 years.
Yeah,
and again, all the people that say, "Oh yeah, Obi's a one-dimensional player." Well, if he's a one-dimensional player, why haven't you figured him out yet? Why is he catching up to Wayne Gretzky? If you know what I mean?
right.
Oh my God, it's Trevor.
Hey,
What's
happy
up?
22nd trip around the sun there, my friend. How's your
Dude,
birthday
thanks.
going?
No, it's been pretty good. Just been chilling. I saw you guys were live, so I might as well just join in.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're
that's
actually talking
nice.
about
It's been a while.
I'd hide too. If I was a Colts fan, I'd hide too.
I'm not even paying attention to that. Not even paying
I
attention to
don't
that.
blame you.
Nah.
Yeah, the highlight of the Colts this season, they put new scoreboards in at that stadium, and that's about the only
I
highlight.
didn't even
that
know
they've
that.
got.
I didn't even know that happened. I had no clue.
Yeah, that's the only thing they did. But
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have even known that.
Oh man.
Trevor,
Well,
were
nice
you-
to have you, man. It's
Are
been
you
a while.
kidnapped? Are you kidnapped? Where are you?
I'm in my house. I'm in my den.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, look like you're kidnapped, and it was like a kidnapper's video going on.
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna change the
say.
background. I'm gonna change the background.
There you go.
Like, no, I'm not in my den. I meant to say my loft. I'm in my loft.
Okay.
Fair
I
enough.
was gonna say you're on semester break, aren't you?
Yeah, just started.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, remind me. I gotta buy you a beer because I'm actually gonna be off at the end of December. So
Oh, good shit. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, we'll have to do that. So I was gonna say because I think where you normally live isn't that far from you. So
Yeah. I'm up in GI, so
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
down in Fred.
yeah, you're only like 20 minutes from me. That ain't bad.
Gotta find my virtual background. It's been forever since I've done this.
Yeah, I know. We missed you, Trevor.
Yeah, it's been a long time, guys.
Yeah. So say last time you were on was last season.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, Bobby's trying to make it gay and scare the guy away again.
Wait,
Wait,
oh, man.
Let's put the
There
saves
you
back
go.
there. There we go.
There you go.
Oh God.
But yeah, so of course Ovechkin will make it happen. He will definitely get past Gretzky.
Definitely.
We're pretty confident about that.
Very.
But now with you coming on, let's talk about some Sabres action here because it's actually a perfect segue now that you got that background up. So
Yeah.
so basically the Sabres are bouncing back. They got some pretty good wins. Basically the highest scoring team right now. And how about the fact that they're just finding ways to win, especially after they annihilated the LA Kings last night?
Yeah, that was a fun game. I was at that game last night, and I think like the first period it was rough, and then I think like halfway through the second it was getting rough because we only got like 5 shots for the first like 25 minutes of the game, which was bad. And I know we're missing Skinner due to a suspension, but that third period where we scored 6 goals was something that like you would see back in the like a long time ago with the old Sabres. Like they are a very fun team to watch, but I feel like they just got to get over the hump.
You want to know how they want to get over the hump? Switch to the fucking goat heads consistently.
Yep, wear them every fucking night. I don't even care what anybody says. Wear them every night.
In fact, hell,
fucking goat head.
In fact, hell, repaint the arena back to red like how it used to be.
Yeah,
Oh, please.
yeah.
Hey,
I think go ahead, Adam.
Can we answer Vinny's question?
What's his question?
I'm itching to answer that question.
Yeah, so Vinny actually Vinny, if you want, call in too, because I put the thing in the chat. But his question was, do we think the Sabres could make the playoffs?
Okay, I want to
go first.
Let me go first.
Yeah, go first. Go
ahead.
Absolutely not.
What?
They're not making the playoffs this year or next year.
They're
not ready, dude. They're not ready. You're not consistent enough.
Oh my god.
Dude, okay, you can say what you want. You can say, oh, Adam, you're a fucking dumbass. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to tell you now, they're not ready to make the playoffs. They're not ready. They're good. Like Trevor said, exciting team to watch, fun to watch.
Yeah.
I watch some of the games when there's not a Leaf game on. I love the way they play. I just don't think they're there. I don't think they might make the bubble and just not get in, but I can't see them, just walking into the playoffs.
Yeah, although watch, it'd be fun to see Austin Matthews get bounced in the first round again, like he has the last couple of years. But I will say this though. Although I will give the Leafs credit, they did have a good win the other night.
They did.
We ain't fucking around lately. We don't fuck around.
You know what's funny though? The Leafs beat the shit out of the worst team in the league. Yet the Sabres beat one of the top leaders.
Dude, we beat fucking LA 5-0 too. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying in general. I mean,
everybody beats LA. Jesus Christ.
LA has a lot of problems lately.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, when the Leafs played him, looked like Quick was his first game in the league ever. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
I mean, whenever the Sabres played the Kings make the Sabres look like a Stanley Cup contender.
Well, you know what? If you watched any of the highlights from the Anaheim Leafs game last night, you would have seen some. It looked like an OHL team playing an NHL team.
No, it's like you want to talk about a junior team playing an NHL team. How about when we had that 9-4 win against Columbus?
That was a great game.
Oh, yeah,
great game.
6-0 at the end of one.
Tom and I
scoring
were
5.
We were live during that last week. We were just laughing hysterically.
And Tage scoring 5 goals, and 4 of them were in the first period. That was awesome,
man.
Yeah, one of those games where you feel like it's a minor, like a junior kids game, and it's like, hey, all right, we're gonna stop taking the score now. It's gonna be an even game, but we'll still pick a winner at the end.
Yeah,
basically. Seriously.
Now, it's funny we're talking about Tage Thompson at the brief moment because I think Austin Matthews was doing an interview with Steve Dangle. I forgot what show it was. Adam might have seen this comment. And he was asked prior to the season, like, who Austin Matthews thought was the most underrated player in the NHL. He specifically said Tage Thompson.
He did. He pointed out Tage Thompson because of his play, his stick work, and his checking work. He pinpointed them because it makes sense, dude. The kid, he's under the radar all the time, which is good for him because he doesn't need the extra bullshit. So all he has to do is go out and score goals.
Right. And look what he's done. I mean, he's really stepped it up last year, but even more so this year. I mean, he's basically, I think he's finally come out of that shell and he's finally taken that leadership position on this team where he's just going to go out there. He's just going to bang everybody, and there you go.
I think the Sabres have just been they've been consistently scoring 4+ goals like each game, which is something I haven't seen since probably like 2007, which is really, really fun to see. Like, I don't think we had this much of an offense with Eichel or during the back end days with Ryan Miller when we were still in that playoff contention, maybe around 2010, 2011 window. Like, the only reason why we made the playoffs in 2010 and 2011 was because of Ryan Miller. Like, we did not have the firepower. We did not have the support. We had a couple players out with injuries and stuff, but this is like as far as the offense goes, like, we can get into goaltending, which I don't think is very good right now, other than last night's game, of course, but the offense is really keeping them in these games, and they're just a fun team to watch. I'm going to piggyback off of what you guys were saying before about the playoffs. I think I agree with Adam. I would say that the Sabres are a really, really fun team to watch right now, but they're just super, super young. I give them another season. Can they make the playoffs? Yes, but it is kind of tough, especially with the schedule they have coming up now. They got the Avalanche, and then they have the Coyotes, who pounded us pretty good at home, and then we have Vegas again, who's probably without Jack, I think, because he's on the injured reserve for a while. So, they just need to string some wins together, and that's just something that they've had trouble doing all season long because I think they are super young, and the average demographic is 23 years old on the team right now.
Yeah, like
So
23 or 24.
I give it another season probably, but they are trending in the right direction.
I will say this though. I will say this: if I was a GM in the league, and let's say Buffalo this year got in the last 2 games and managed to get into a wild card spot, if I was any team, I'd be like, fuck that shit. I don't want to play a team that's that unexperienced and they're gonna go fucking wild on us. Because that's what would happen. I just see like them running over teams because they're not used to kind of play, right? It's like the LA Kings back in fucking when they just made the playoffs and they won the cup. You know what I mean? You don't know. It's a different beast, right?
Yeah, that LA Kings team was very special at that time. I mean, it could very well happen. As far as Vinny's comment or his question, if they can make the playoffs, I'm going to say yes, only because I feel though the Sabres have enough assets on the team to make that push, and they have a dynamic offense. But what's wrong with adding more when you can? Maybe trade for a top 6 defenseman if you're able to. Maybe trade for like Bo Horvat and give you a little boost. I think granted, I don't think he'll go to the Sabres, but I think he would. I don't think he wouldn't mind being traded there.
Right, maybe get that type of player.
No, you need a guy like Bo Horvat for your power play. Like the special teams has been bad, the defense has been bad, but they are very young, and the goaltending has been absolutely terrible lately. But the offense has been what's been keeping the Sabres alive. And it's not like they're like a great team. They're 7th in the Atlantic. I know the Atlantic is pretty much stacked with a lot of great teams or up and coming teams. In Boston, it doesn't matter how old those players are; they're going to be contenders no matter what. It seems like. I mean, freaking Patrice Bergeron has been tearing up the league for over 15 years. So, and then you have Tampa Bay, who's obviously been back to the Stanley Cup Finals, have won 2 out of 3, and Toronto. The Red Wings have been looking good. Toronto's been looking good, but I'm not really sure what's going on with Florida or Ottawa, but they're kind of underperforming. But I think the Sabres are in a tough division, but they got to make changes with goaltending, I think, or at least develop somebody, maybe grab something at the deadline or somebody. But the defense is just super young, and our special teams is what's holding us back. So if we do get to the playoffs, I don't know how we do because normally you got to ride the coattails of great goaltending. That's what the 99 Sabres did. That's what most teams do when they win the Stanley Cup. You got whoever's the most complete team, you have the best chance of winning the cup. We have a great offense, just like it's like polar opposites. Great offense and absolutely terrible goaltending.
Right. I think you can't just have Dahlin carrying the defense.
Or Samuelson. Yeah.
Right.
But
or it's after actually being able to beat teams in your division too. If you can't beat your own division.
Yeah.
You're losing points. A lot of the points you're playing, most of your points are coming out of your division. If you can't win in your division, then you're not going to make playoffs.
Yeah. And the Atlantic is stacked. I mean, look at how Jersey's been playing. Look at Boston. Look at all those teams.
Well, I actually kind of saw the Devils going to be an emerging team. I've said this for at least 3 years. I even said it to you, Tom. I said, watch out for the Devils. They're going to be a good team soon. And I said the same thing about the Rangers. And I'm going to say the same thing about the Sabres. But here's a thing or two for me about the Sabres. Speaking of goaltending, I think if they're going to go after somebody, there's 1 or 2 things that theorize this whole thing. One, I think they're waiting on Devin Levi to fully develop because he's playing.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And number 2, I think they're going to trade Eric Portillo because I think he's a UFA at the end of the year.
So is Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson.
Johnson's done nothing.
Johnson's not going to sign. I would package him in a possible deal for Jacob Chikrin. That's what I would do.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yep.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Here's an idea. You could stop the whole UPL fucking project and just move on from that guy.
I would love to move on from him. He has shown me nothing outside of the Blues game, and the Blues aren't a very good team right now, but the first Goathead night he looked absolutely phenomenal. The defense was bad, but the goaltending was holding it down. I think I would go after somebody like Jacob Chikrin. I've heard that Tyler Myers wants to get out of wherever
Okay,
he's
cool.
at right now.
Yeah,
I put him on
wouldn't
the bottom 6. I put him on the bottom pairing over Jacob Bryson right now.
Are you
So
kidding? No way.
at least Tyler Myers has the height. Jacob Bryson literally cannot play one game without turning over the puck like 5 times. Like he's that bad. I would go with Tyler Myers over him for sure.
No.
Just as far as like depth is concerned, he can block shots. He's tall. He can shoot the puck. What can Jacob Bryson do except for turning the puck in front of like in his own slot?
Well, Bryson just sucks straight up.
No, he wouldn't be
like
on
the
another
worst.
NHL roster if he was on a different organization.
Yeah, he's like AHL at best, honestly.
Yeah.
And in terms of the UPL project now, a lot of people know in the time we've done these shows. I mean, I was very high on him with the rookie camps when he first started coming into development camps and all that. My concern with him now is injury prone. I mean, look at all the stuff he's had the last 3 years and look where it's gotten him. And I think at this point,
and his performances in Rochester, he wasn't even good in Rochester. Like, and
he's too inconsistent right now.
He has no puck control. The rebounds just bounce off of him and create more chances for. Like, I cannot trust UPL in an NHL game.
Right, and honestly, I would love to get a look at Levi.
Well, he's the perfect UPL is like the perfect. If you're looking at the draft a goalie, his stature, his style of play is what you want when you draft a goalie, but he is not living up to what he's supposed to be, and you're wasting way too much time on him. You should be focusing on Levi, and then call it a day.
And he had the hip surgery. Didn't he have hip surgery?
Yeah, he did.
I think he did. Yeah.
I
think he did.
Yeah, I think it was his right hip that he had to get like surgery on, and I don't know if it was like. And it was a pretty extensive surgery because
it set him back
for a while.
The COVID break set him back a bunch too. I think it's just a bunch of unfortunate circumstances for him because he didn't get a lot of reps in Rochester because of COVID and because of injuries. It's nothing like against him, but like I don't think he should be our goalie of the future. And can we also talk about Peyton Krebs' role and Casey Middlestat's role? Flip those two guys around or send Peyton Krebs to Rochester. Because I honestly don't think Peyton Krebs is going to develop playing with Kyle Oposo and Gergensen in 6 minutes every night.
Or
There's
just
no
do the
way.
simplest thing. Or do the simplest thing. Trade Mitts. Because he's been in the system now. Yeah, exactly.
Please. Yeah.
Because you know what is? The Sabres let me just say something about this. The Sabres completely ruined him when he first got drafted. Instead of sending him to Rochester, which they should have done years ago, instead of doing that, they bring him up to Buffalo. Oh, he's the number 1 projected prospect in the NHL at the time. Oh, he's so skill set and he could do this, he could do that. It's like, dude, if you can't develop, shut the fuck up and get packing. You know, that's what I think.
And they can't. I mean, that was what 2018 when we were out of playoff contention by Christmas time, like 17, 18. I mean, we also called up Alex Nylander that year. I'm like, what are we doing? Remember those guys?
Oh yeah.
And then we had Phil Housley. I mean, it was just bad. But at the same time, it's like Casey Middlestat. He's always falling down. He has no puck control. I mean, every now and then he can give you a nice move, like maybe pull it through the legs or get it through somebody somehow. But there's no reason during Skinner's suspension, which was absolutely ludicrous, by the way. Like, I know he got him in the face, but this is 3 games is ridiculous. You cannot touch the Penguins.
Yeah, Tom Wilson gets less than that.
Wait, who was that? The guy that on the Leafs that whacked the guy in the back of the head and got 1 game? Who was that?
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Engvall. Who was it?
Was it?
Engvall. Pierre Engvall.
That's what.
Okay.
But Skinner. But dude, that's the thing. That's another thing. Like, you can't touch any of the Penguin players without getting a huge fine or a suspension, because that's fucking Sidney Crosby's team. It's Captain Canada's team. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't even touch Malkin.
No, but Malkin can touch everybody else. That's a different topic. I fucking hate. Oh
yeah. Sidney Crosby can slew foot somebody and he gets away with it.
Chris Letang the other night, tripped. No, what did he do? He high sticked Dylan Cousins and slew footed him. No penalty. Skinner, who Gensel's been slashing all night, gets up in his face and shuts him up. He gets a 3-game suspension. The NHL is just ridiculous. But yeah, I honestly think Peyton Krebs is not going to develop properly when you're putting him with 2 guys on the same line. Let's just be honest here. I think Craig Anderson might have a chance of outskating Kyle Oposo or Zemgus Girgensons. I would put Peyton Krebs on the first line in Rochester. Let him really, really gel. Let him really develop. Alex Tuck has been great from that Eichel trade. I just want to see that same result from Peyton Krebs. You need to develop him the right way because we didn't give Grigorenko enough time. We didn't give Middlestat enough time. We didn't give, you can argue, Marcus Foligno. Didn't give him enough time to develop. But you see like these 06, 07s, the 05, 06 teams where they built that whole team in the Rochester system. Derek Roy, Ryan Miller, Jason Pominville, Thomas Vanek, all those guys came from Rochester and then were called up. And then you saw how good they were. The Sabres have been rushing prospects for years, and I think that's what's been setting that rebuild back. So they got to send Krebs down. I would call up a guy like Brett Murray for your bottom six. I mean, he's a guy that actually brings toughness, physicality, and he's a guy that'll step up for a player if they get a cheap shot, like the Sweden series a couple years ago before COVID when Dahlin got hit in the head. I don't remember. Was it Sergey? Who was it? Was it Sergachev that took a shot at Dahlin's head when they were playing in Sweden?
It was against. I think it was Sergachev. I remember watching that game.
Yeah, nobody stepped up for him. Literally, nobody stepped up to when Ryan Miller got ran by Milan Lucic a bunch of years ago. Nobody,
God, I remember
nobody stepped up for Ryan Miller.
And then Gostad fought him the next time they
John
met.
Scott. Yeah, in the
exactly. Like the Sabres need that tough guy, and I think Brett Murray is. He's not going to be a part of your future, but you can at least put him on this top six for now, and then send Krebs down for a while.
I don't know. Go ahead, Adam.
So, anyways, I'll agree with Trevor. I agree with don't ruin a kid that's gonna get you 30 to 40 goals in 3 to 4 years times every year consistently. Right?
He's 21 years old. He has so much time to improve.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be consistent, and I can guarantee between 30 to 40 goals a year, maybe more. I'm just gonna set it at a low bar. But yeah, like he said, put him down in Rochester. Let him go on the first line. Let him fucking light up the fucking AHL because he will. And then once he gets all that fucking confidence, bring him back up. Even let's just say they get in the playoffs, and then
or making a run at the deadline. If you're in contention for the playoffs at the deadline, you can call him up.
Yeah, bring him up, and I guarantee you, he'll light the lamp for you every fucking night. But you can't rush him. If you rush him, you're gonna fuck him.
And if you are going to put him on the active roster, put him where Middlestad is right now. Switch them around in the lineup. I mean, if you want to, Middlestad is so bad. I'm even saying put him on the fourth line. I mean, at least try to get something going with Kyle Poso and Zemgus Girgensons, who, by the way, I honestly thought that Alex Tuch should have been captain. I don't know if you guys talked about this before, but I thought he should have been called captain over Kyle Poso, even though I know he's like the biggest vet in the locker room or whatever it is, or the oldest guy, I guess. But because this team is so young, I think Craig Anderson technically, but I'm talking about the oldest skater. I would say Kyle Poso is the oldest one, but Casey Middlestad is I thought he was bad a couple of seasons ago. He's just unwatchable now. And the fact that he's taken over the first line because Skinner's still suspended, at least we won last night, but Middlestad didn't do anything. Tage Thompson taking the league by storm. Jeff Skinner's looking good this year. And I also think Alex Tuch is really living up to that hype too. I just wish he was more consistent. He's been turning into more of a pass first kind of guy. He needs to be more selfish with the puck and shoot it way more than he usually does because he's got a good shot.
Yeah, and also can shoot pretty well too, and he's actually been playing pretty well.
The one thing that I like. Okay, so I'll go off a little bit off topic, and I'll go to how Sheldon Keefe coaches the Leafs. And the only thing I really agree with how he does it is that if a line is not clicking that night, I can guarantee you can look for the last 10 games of the Leafs. You will not see the same line ever in the fucking 10 games. You know why? Because if something's not working, he's fucking moving people around. And he gets criticized all the time for it. But I can guarantee if Middlestack was on the first line on the Leafs and he fucking did nothing for a whole game, he would be at the fucking fourth line.
I was going to say, well, number one, the Toronto fans would cyberbully the team into sending him down to into the bottom six. Yeah, well, that and the Toronto media will never they will beat him so hard in their articles and stuff until Sheldon Keefe sees it, and then he has to. I feel like Buffalo is a smaller market, so that usually won't happen. And they have a lot of faith in their players, which is good. They're not really just pulling the trigger saying, "Oh, you stink, go back down," which is okay, I guess. But you got to realize putting him on the first line, second line when he's not doing anything consistently is the definition of insanity. I think that's a textbook definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You're not getting any different results from Casey Middlestad. He's just that bad.
Well, he's not being held accountable for it. You can't go on a first line and be so inconsistent for game after game and then not being held accountable. He's not. You don't see like him getting benched for half a period for being shit or nothing like that.
Or putting him on the
held
power
accountable.
play. I mean, putting him on the power play has been ridiculous too. I know it's the second pairing, but there's no it's essentially even strength at that point. You're just playing 4-on-4. Casey Middlestat cannot generate anything passing wise. Every pass goes in the player's skates.
Right.
And every time he sends a puck to the point, it either gets intercepted and it's taken away for a shorthanded breakaway or a nod-man rush or something. There's no reason why he should be on the power play or the top six.
Yeah, 100% agree. And with that being said, it's been a while since we've seen you too, man. How's it going?
Man, doing pretty good, man. Work been kicking my ass lately. That man got me working all crazy. By the time I get home, I'm just ready for that, man.
No, I got you. I got you.
Feeling great. Happy to be able to jump on the show with you guys, man. How we feeling?
Good.
Pretty good, man.
Good. Doing good. Sabres got a good win. What's that?
Thank you. I sound like Bobby Jack. So nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff. So what we'll do now is we actually had a pretty good Sabres conversation. We were talking about that, but let's jump into some stuff with the Bills because we ended up going like 45 minutes on the Sabres. So one of the big things, breaking news today, and this happened right around 5 p.m. Highmark Stadium, the lease was approved by all 30 teams. It's gonna be a year to year until the new stadium opens, and all 30 teams ended up approving the new stadium lease, which is going to be for 30 years on the new site. So, and of course, anyone who's been over by the stadium as of late, you go into that parking lot across from the stadium, you'll see exactly where the 50-yard line will be.
In other words, grass is green.
Hey, can we, like, whoever's playing in the background, can you please mute the audio because we can hear ourselves talking?
I can hear it too, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
I
hearing
can hear
some
that
type of echo.
also.
All right, cool. Yeah, but new stadium will be pretty sweet once that opens up, and good to hear that went through and no issues there. But let's jump right into the big thing that happened.
Let's talk about how they could potentially make the playoffs.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my
Yeah, it's crazy,
God.
man. The division is
Anybody notice my name? My name is we can't even lose right. We can't even lose right.
Neither can Tom Brady, apparently. Oh my God.
Oh God, his team is horrible this year.
Brock Purdy, are you freaking kidding me? Like
Yeah.
he has outperformed Tom Brady in every single game that he's played this year, and he only started one time against
Right.
him. Which is great.
Fucking 30 years younger than the fucking guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, no kidding.
Well, the other problem is he has Todd Bowles coaching him down in Tampa.
Jesus Christ.
And we
Yeah,
know
that's
Bowles
right. Arians
sucks
is
as a
gone.
coach.
Arians is gone, right?
Yeah, Arians
Wow.
is gone, I think, last year.
Yeah, no, Arians actually resigned from the coaching job, and then he became an executive or as an executive role advisor for the Bucks. And Todd Bowles is going back to the old days of when he was with the Jets. And believe me, I've watched him numerous times down here, and nobody in this area liked Todd Bowles as the coach. He's a good defensive coordinator, but he is the biggest piece of dog shit. that
Everybody
you
made
could
fun of
possibly
Todd
do.
Bowles.
Everybody down here made
Mhm.
fun of him. Everybody said, fire Todd. This guy sucks dick. He's pretty much just a nicer version and a less uglier version of Leslie Frazier. Let's put it that way.
I think you mean probably. I think that's like the most likely Colts candidate for the job next year. They said Leslie Frazier.
Oh man.
I'm
Although
telling
if
you
he were to get it, I mean, he deserves it.
Trevor, I'm telling you right now, if the Colts decide to bring in Leslie Frazier, that will be the biggest mistake they make.
No, I don't want him. I don't want
blame
him.
you. Yeah,
But
that
you know
would
what?
be-
I want and it's a pipe dream, but like the guy from Michigan, former Colts quarterback Jim Harbaugh. I mean, that's a pipe dream, but I feel like he brings something like toughness. Like Jeff Saturday, I thought that was a cool little what do you call it? What's that show called? Ted Lasso type of story where he went into his first game, won without having any coaching experience. But I'm kind of just over it now. I thought it was a funny thing when it first happened because I wanted Frank Reich gone.
Oh yeah,
But-
and Bill Cowher was so butthurt about it. It
No,
was
but then they
hilarious.
beat the Raiders and really exposed like how bad Josh McDaniels truly is as being a head coach. But yeah, looking at him, what's going to happen with Sean Payton next year? Like, do you think maybe a team like I don't even know, maybe like the Cardinals maybe can go after him next year? Because I've heard some stuff about KK that's just like okay, he might be out next year, but they're a really banged up team, and I think that's beyond his control. But the Cardinals have been so underwhelming over the past like 10 years. Like they're just,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I've heard a lot of things about Sean Payton, and I've heard a lot of things about Jim Harbaugh. But Harbaugh's getting paid like close to $10 million a year, dominating in Michigan. You're going to have to really convince him. If there is somebody too, I think it's Jim Irsay. I think they're still on good terms. I think they still talk fairly often with each other. Because, I mean, he used to be his quarterback. He used to be his franchise quarterback before the days of Peyton Manning and other guys that came after him, like the 9 other quarterbacks that came after him.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to what's going on in this upcoming NFL draft too. Like looking at seeing where CJ goes and seeing where the kid from Kentucky goes, and some of the underrated prospects like Anthony Richardson out of Florida. I'm really interested to see where he's going to go.
Yeah.
I was really on the horse of, we were Panthers were going to get Shroud. No, not anymore.
Dude, if you guys lose out, if they lose out, they could get Bryce Young.
You know what? I want Shroud or nothing.
Well, I mean, he did say like a week ago or a couple of days ago, remind me, Adam, he said something interesting to me. He said he would rather have Sam Darnold as a quarterback than Baker Mayfield, only because he's the perfect tank quarterback.
Yeah,
yeah, Mayfield lit it up.
But not anymore, because I put my foot in my mouth and look at Sam Darnold. He won 2 games in a fucking row.
Right.
I mean, what's his name? Baker? The refs really kind of gave him a lot of yards on that 98-yard drive, but at the same time, it's like you got to look at the defense he's facing against, and you just got to look at the type of season the Rams have had. I think Baker played amazing for his first game. I don't think he knew I think he only knew probably like a third of the playbook because he was signed 2 days prior, and then he went and led a 98-yard game-winning drive, which on primetime TV, which was awesome to see.
Even their coach was just joking about it too. They're like, a guy who's only been here for 10 minutes.
Yeah, didn't even know the playbook.
Right.
Now, the funniest part is when he went to leave the game, he didn't even know how to get out of the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it even worse now. Of course, Arizona is really hurting for a QB because Kyler Murray blew his ACL out.
Oh,
did you guys hear that Indy was, after they cut bait with Carson Wentz, they were thinking about trading with Chicago to get Justin Fields, but they were calling Chicago about it, and they were so close away from making that deal, but something happened. I don't even know what happened, and they pulled out of it.
I mean,
I don't know how I would feel about a Justin Fields thing, but I would feel more confident if a young rookie like Anthony Richardson was my quarterback, or Bryce Young. And I know the stuff about Ohio State and Alabama quarterbacks and how they're not very good when they get to the NFL, but you got to watch the combine. Like, we don't know where these quarterbacks are going to be ranked in the draft. You got to see which ones blow the combine away. I think it's going to be the kid from Florida that's going to really boost his stock. Like 6'5", they're comparing him to Josh Allen. I mean, I would look at Anthony Richardson as a guy who's really going to shoot up his draft stock when he crushes that combine.
Well, let me ask you this.
Does he have any hurdles on his resume? Because unless he can do that.
In Florida, yeah. In the University of Florida, he does. Yep. Yeah, he does.
So wait a minute, Trevor. So let me ask you this then. What about someone like Spencer Rattler out of North Carolina? Like, would that be something, or South Carolina, whatever it is?
Yeah.
Would that be something you would be up against?
Oh, he's a mobile quarterback. I know he transferred from Oklahoma last year, and I think he is in South Carolina this year. But I think they're projecting him to maybe go early second round or something like that, or whatever I was reading before. Really? The kid from Oregon is really boosting his draft stock too, Nix. I mean, that guy might be good. I saw guys like Tanner McKee. I don't know if those guys are really good, but anybody that's mobile, anybody that's young, anybody that can really just, I wouldn't say like revolutionize the offense year one, but at least leave their mark.
Maybe. I mean, if I'm Indianapolis, I would go with that Richardson kid that you want.
Yeah.
I could definitely see Rattler being a starting quarterback on a team that's pretty much ready to move on from a QB in less than 2 years, like Green Bay, for example. Like Green Bay, depending what happens with Aaron Rodgers, he could either retire or he could stay. And there's a rumor going around that if Aaron Rodgers decides to stay in Green Bay, there's a possibility Jordan Love will be really upset and he'll demand a trade out of Green Bay. It could go to Atlanta if they're willing to do it. I've even heard Carolina was in the mix, but I don't know what the Panthers' plans are. I don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, which I've said in the past, it's very risky. It depends how you develop him. But at the same time, they could very well cut their ties with Darnold and then bring in whoever they want and then go from there. It could happen to anybody. Hell, the fucking Jets could do it right now with how everything's going with Zach Wilson. And let me tell you something. A lot of people down here in the States are like so relieved right now because Zach Wilson is their number 2 guy because of the Mike White situation. So it's like, wow. Oh my God, we finally have a quarterback. It's like
you mean Mike White, who suffered like intestinal damage because he got hit so hard
And,
against
like,
the
2
Bills
broken
last Sunday?
ribs.
Yeah.
Don't start calling him the fucking Terminator.
Mike White, because he's a warrior after that game for getting back in there, man.
Oh
Twice.
yeah,
He got back
give
in
him
twice.
respect for that. Coming back twice.
Here's the thing I noticed, okay? The one thing I'll point out is that even after Mike White went down the first time, they brought in Joe Flacco, and he was so terrible. They're like, you know what? We're going to risk injury to our youngest quarterback.
Yeah.
And
He's right.
Joe
Oh,
Flacco
man.
because he's that bad.
And that's a perfect segue too, because the Bills ended up beating the Jets 24-10. And it actually, before we get into a little bit of the Bills comments too, Bob, your wife's in the chat actually tonight. So she ends up saying, before we talk about the Bills, playoffs are going to be weird this season, but honestly, I'm rooting for the Lions to go far. And I'll tell you, I mean, the Lions have a good coaching staff.
Oh yeah, Dan Campbell, the most jacked coach in the league. I'm pulling for him for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude
team
probably
actually is
benches.
doing
That dude
something.
probably benches 450 pounds on his worst day. You ever
most.
see how big that guy is?
Oh yeah, he's a
He's
monster.
No, and I'm. This might be an unpopular opinion, like seriously unpopular. I'm pulling for the Dallas Cowboys. You saw who they signed over the weekend, or over the week.
Yeah, the biggest dick harder, which is T.Y. Hilton.
They brought in T.Y. Hilton, and I think he's going to do.
yeah.
I mean, I know he's a rental player, and his contract expires after their season's done. But like, Dak Prescott can't just force it to Michael Gallup or CeeDee Lamb anymore.
Right.
You have another slot weapon right there in Ty. But I know he hasn't seen any action in almost over a year. But I think that only does better things for your offense.
Yeah, and you can't just rely on Zeke and Pollard every game either.
Tony Pollard's been a beast, though.
Oh,
Tony
he's
Pollard's been one of the best running backs in the NFL this season.
I actually think he's better than Ezekiel Elliott.
Did they start the hashtag get we dim boys? Because I'm just waiting for that to start again.
You know
We
what?
them boys. Oh my God.
How about them Cowboys? But no, I actually have one hot take here, and some of you might disagree. That's fine. My hot take is this: the Philadelphia Eagles will get exposed in the playoffs as fraud, and they will.
No, that's not a hot take. That's reality. Same with the Minnesota Vikings.
No. Hold on, hang on. I'm not finished.
That's your team, wasn't it, Bobby?
No.
All right, come on.
So here's
All right.
what's going to happen. The Eagles will get knocked out in the second round of the playoffs by the San Francisco 49ers. Watch.
Dude, they're not. You know what? They're not gonna. They're so fucking fake that they're gonna be ran over right away, dude. There's no way. They're so fake. They had the easiest schedule at any fucking team in the league.
The Vikings are faker than the Eagles are. I mean, let's be real. I mean, weren't they the only team at one point a couple weeks ago that were like 8-2 and had a minus or a negative number for like points scored versus points against, or something crazy like that? Because they lost to the Cowboys like 43-3.
Yeah, their adjusted
like
yards
that,
were all
yeah.
screwed up
The only
too.
reason they're relevant is because of Jefferson, dude. It's the only fucking reason they're relevant.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is mid at best, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
Jefferson's
good-
balling
he's a
out.
Adam Thielen's still pretty
Jefferson
good.
makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is fucking golf, man. They're the same quarterback. They're mediocre as fuck.
And
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook's obviously a beast when he's healthy.
Oh yeah, by far. But two quick points I want to get to because we're actually almost at the top of the hour. But in terms of when we ended up beating the Jets, of course, got to give it to Dawson Knox. That was beautiful catch, beautiful somersault in the end zone.
The helicopter in the
Yep.
end zone. Yep.
Yep. And then of
That's good.
course Allen with another hurdle plus the barrel roll for that.
Yeah, he got helicoptered too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he does when he wants to get that first down, man. He get that war mentality and he just goes for it.
Jumps head first.
Yeah.
You know, fucking
100%.
coaches. You know, coaches fucking hate that. But a guy like Josh Allen, his size, he's a little bit. You know, he's not going to get injured as easy as a little quarterback like a Kyler Murray or something like that. But
Right.
Drew Brees type of quarterback.
Yeah.
you'll crumple in the glass as soon as you get fucking hit.
Yeah,
Be like a Russell Wilson who absolutely sucks now. He's been with Denver, and watch they're gonna probably
that's
get rid of
the
Hackett at
most
the end of the year.
disappointing player this season, man. That's Russell Wilson for sure.
Terrible.
But do you guys think that maybe Josh Allen is still injured? Like if you've been listening to WGR 550 and they were talking about in the post game, because I mean Indianapolis is on a bye, so I was listening to the post game and they were saying, Yeah, well, his first 7 drop passes, or his when he dropped back, he was 1 for 7 for 6 yards. And they
No,
said
but
like he was just missing his target, like the one pass to Diggs where he had him wide open in the middle of the field, just missed him.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
saying that the elbow still might be lingering. He might get off-season surgery, but he's
I
not going to
think
say anything.
I think it's just the weather, dude. It was just the fucking weather. It was windy as fuck.
It was
Yeah, it
also
was
that, but
raining.
there's already talking about it's not a serious injury like that. He can still play with it, obviously. But it's
Yeah.
one of those things right when he gets to the release, that's where it gets tweaked at. That's where he feels the little shock or whatever he's experiencing. That's why we've been kind of experienced with Josh Allen is kind of off target a little bit, or a little trigger happy, or kind of want to
It's the follow through. It's the follow through.
Right. It's like
Yeah.
the release isn't as clean.
We'll see. We'll see how what they end up doing in the off season and see what they say. I hope it's not surgery, but
Yeah,
I mean,
just
Yeah,
don't
same
be
here.
surprised if you see like a minor like thing on the injury report come up say, "Oh yeah, by the way, Josh Allen played X amount of games with a bad elbow or
he
something."
was also stretching that arm out in practice earlier today. They got him on video and the dude trainer just stretching out the elbow and arm. But I mean, you never know. Who I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
could be nothing or it could be something. But
Right.
I mean, Josh and with McDermott, they're not gonna say much. They're gonna keep it under the books, say everything's okay.
Exactly. And I will say this, Von Miller walking into the field house today and doing that conference, no crutches or nothing, just walking already on that knee like there's no issue. I'm like, man, that was good to see you.
They said it was a partial tear, right? I think he's booted up. I think his knee has a boot or a brace on it or something like that.
He was originally diagnosed with a lateral meniscus, and then they went into an explorational surgery, and they found that one of his muscle tears was sore, as they called it, looseness in quotation, and that's where they found out that he tore his ACL.
Yeah, they said it was like a partial tear. It wasn't completely torn, so
it
he should
wasn't
be
like a
he should
full
be-
rupture.
He'll be ready to go next year.
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah, same here. I mean, he adds a lot to that defense.
He has a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money the Bills
Yeah,
got to
that
pay him
too.
too. Yeah.
He would have been. He would have got those sacks for a Super Bowl. Just saying.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, Greg Rousseau. I mean, they've already
I was
played 2
gonna
games.
say you
without
have
him, and
Rousseau, you have
I'm gonna say that
Epinesa
with
who
Rousseau as well.
blocked
I
the
mean,
the
but he's
last
already
pass
been
of the
working
game.
with Von, and my biggest thing is how's Russo going to respond when Von's not in on the field? Is he still going to keep up his pressure? I mean, for the past game or so, he's been looking great with a bad pass, 2 sacks. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he's got to keep it up. You got to keep it up. I mean, even our front two with Daquan Jones and Seto Jr. Them guys are shutting down the run game lately, as of late. And I was talking to my co-host the other day, where the past couple seasons prior, where we had one of the most expensive defensive lines and absolutely sucked in the run game. And now look at us. We're looking real good. We're clogging up holes and we're stopping the runs, man. So bravo. We definitely got the right people in here. Ed Oliver playing with his head on fire. Matt, he's playing phenomenal, man. Everybody around him.
Oliver is an absolute beast. I love it, Oliver.
Yep, he's showing what we knew he could do, and he's finally at that point where he's actually making it happen. So I mean, absolutely love that that's going on.
Yeah.
Even AJ Epinesa. AJ Epinesa is pretty much like a forgotten player.
He got
And
the
he's
game-winning deflected
flashing.
pass, right?
Yeah.
On that 4th down. Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
that
He
tip.
gets a couple sacks here and there. Like he's flashing, and he's kind of been a forgotten player. And I like what I see from the defensive front.
Yeah,
what?
I mean they're showing up.
I want to say though, the Dolphins. Before I say anything else, the Dolphins are a bunch of pussies. Did anybody see what they did in Los Angeles?
Yeah, SoFi, they have a roof on the stadium, even though it's an open air stadium, 55 degrees, and they got the propane heaters going. I'm like,
How about
it's 55
Tua
degrees.
pointing? How about Tua directing Tyreek Hill where to run, as if he didn't already know where to run when he scooped up the fumble?
I'm glad you guys mentioned this because honestly, I mean, I don't care if it's a good play, cool play, but wasn't the dude down by contact technically before
That's
he
what I thought.
pitched it
That was what I
back?
thought. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because if you got possession of the ball, you got 3 defenders on you, and you're on the ground and happen to pitch it back in a split second, are you technically down by contact because you have possession of the ball before you pitched it back?
And they would have had the
Yeah.
first down. They would have had the first down, I think, too.
Right.
Yeah, that was just mine. I mean, it was a clear fumble at first, but I just looked like, hey, the dude's obviously on the ground, defenders on him, then he pitched it back. I would have questioned down by contact, but I mean, this still was a cool play.
And can we
Yeah.
discuss how overhyped the AFC West was going into this year? I mean,
Oh,
the Denver and the Raiders especially. Like, we knew the Chiefs were going to be really good, but like I thought the Chargers would be a lot better.
Yeah.
I was a little bit hesitant on the Raiders just because of their head coach, but the Broncos, I expected so much more out of them.
Yeah, the Broncos just suck.
I mean, everyone was saying there's a possibility with the 7th seed being a thing where every team in the AFC West makes a playoff spot. You might get one.
man.
That's the Chiefs by default
Yeah.
because that division is one of the worst in football right now.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, it's like with the Broncos' new ownership, I mean, it's like I wouldn't be surprised if Hackett's gone at the end of the year. And I think all the signs are kind of pointing to that. But of course, what they decided to do today is because they know the Broncos know that they suck. They're like, oh yeah, hey, we're gonna renovate the stadium and put in a new scoreboard. Well, yeah, look at all the teams that do that when they absolutely suck. So,
Yeah.
the usual. But let's get to our last point. Last thing we're going to talk about tonight before we wrap up, because we're actually at the top of the hour. And of course, anyone else who wants to jump in and comment, now's your time to do so. 92920560099. Cole Beasley, he is officially a Buffalo Bill again, and
Beasley's
finally we're going to have someone that actually won't drop the ball in the slot.
Yeah, man. For one, I love bringing Beasley back. I mean, everybody wants talking about this and that on social media. I don't care. My biggest thing when you look, I mean, not necessarily at the numbers, but when you watch the games for previous years with Beasley, he was that safety valve for Josh in short yard situation. He was Mr. Third and Cole version, is what I like to call it. He was always there when we need a first down. It could be 3rd and 22. He's getting 22 and a half yards, and he seen it multiple times. And what we've been experiencing this year, I mean, is a big shuffle with our receiver room. I mean, we was wishing that McKenzie stepped up to the plate and would fill that role. But I mean, I don't want to knock him, but he's not necessarily an upgrade over Beasley. But I'm also not expecting Beasley to come here and just take over, going back to what he normal. No, I see him on a short snap count, short yard situation. Just kind of move the sticks, helps us move the sticks or something like that. And listen, WGR, a lot of people saying that definitely helps out Gabe Davis, because once Beasley gets rolling in those short yardage with the curls and drags and just finding open space in the zones, would eventually bring the defense up to check that, which hopefully leads Dawson Knox. Not Dawson Knox.
And that's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point you bring up. Yeah, it's definitely a good point you bring up, because you have to figure, I mean, Jamison Crowder, when he went out with that broken ankle, I mean, you knew right there we were going to be into an issue. And then, of course, Isaiah McKenzie has shown that he has stone hands and he can't handle a ball to save his life. So then, of course, you figure with Beasley when he was here, I mean, you have those quick, like 5-yard routes, or like 7-yard routes, or 10-yard routes, stuff like that, where you can just go up the middle. And plus, with him being short in height, I mean, you're going to draw some mismatches off of it. Yeah. So then you figure, of course, Diggs is going to get double coverage. Davis is going to get double coverage. We've all seen that. That leaves the option. It's like you could go right to the slot, or even a lot of times now with Dawson Knox and the tight end, he's going to get covered. So here you go. You can go right to the slot and get quick yardage. And that's one of the things that Beasley was really good with the Cowboys. He was really good with that with us. And of course, now we've brought him back to take over that. So do I think he's back next year? I don't know. I mean, who knows what the contract situation is going to be, but I mean, it looks like him and Brandon Beane and the team worked everything out, and even Beasley said earlier he didn't go out the way he wanted to. So I mean, there's that. What I would love to find out, and this is actually one of the things when the Pat McAfee show was on earlier today, and we have that on our channel every day actually, but Jordan Poyer was on, and he even said he would love to know what happened in Tampa Bay for him to leave after 2 games. Like why he wanted to retire after playing with Brady.
It's probably Brady screaming at him for something that Brady did wrong. I don't know.
At him.
Yeah.
You see the 49ers game when Brady was screaming at Evans on the bench?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Evans is like, dude, you're short throwing the ball. I can't pick it through the ground, basically. Like he putting his hands on the ground. And he's like, there was like four throws that he threw like 2 yards short, and Evans was right there waiting for open, and Brady's like, what the fuck are you doing, blah blah blah, and he, you know what, you're not throwing it enough, you're not throwing it hard enough, I'm right here.
But, and I think that there's the rumors that he might go to the Raiders after he becomes a free agent. It's like, Brady, just hang it up already.
Yeah, man.
I've actually heard one rumor about him going to the Jets. That's what I've heard that one.
But real quick, guys, I got to get out of here. I got my own show to do real quick. So, as always, man, love being on here talking sports with you guys. Yeah, check me out, Mafia Talk, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. DM me, and I'll love to have anybody on the show.
Sweet.
Awesome. Good stuff, man.
Nice meeting you, Trevor, man. You guys have a great
Nice
night.
meeting you.
All right.
Take
Thanks,
care.
man. All right. And then, of course, what we'll do here is we'll finish up last couple things. But yeah, I mean, Brady is not who he used to be.
No, shell of his former self. I think he should have retired after the first Super Bowl win with the Tampa Bay Bucks, right off into the sunset like that.
Yep.
But obviously, he had a decent season last year too. Went to the NFC title game or NFC divisional round, and something like that, where they lost to the Rams. I think it was the NFC divisional round. But yeah, I think the era of Tom Brady is done, but he's by far done so many things in this league.
Mhm.
Look at what he's done. He's got 7 Super Bowls. He's got to realize that he has nothing to play for right now.
And he doesn't have Gronk. If he doesn't have Gronk, he's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah,
And Gronk
exactly.
will never play with a team without Tom Brady.
Yeah, and
Right.
Gronk basically said he's done.
Yeah.
Gronk is done. There's no way that. I mean, just look at the guy and think all the injuries he's had in his career. I would think for that sake, I think he should be done.
Brain cells left. He didn't have
no
any
way.
to begin with. He had none to begin with. Now you want Brady was talking on a podcast one time, but like 6 months ago, about how he was trying to convince Gronk to come back, and I was just like, dude, like that guy can't even remember what football is anymore. He had so many hits to the fucking head.
Oh yeah, and he got so beat up like all over the years. I mean, and he had some big injuries over the years.
He had the arm brace. He had the pectoral tear. He had the concussions. And yeah, there's no way.
Basically,
Yeah.
every injury you could think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's in the worst position you can fucking play. So, like,
Mm-hmm. Get crushed by a lineman. There you go.
Yeah, but no, but
Oh Lord.
but the bottom line is, Brady's obviously. I think he's done. I think he should retire. I think that would be the smart thing to do, but he's too stubborn to do it. And
Yeah.
plus, because of the divorce with Giselle, he's like, I can do whatever I want now. But I don't know.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. The game, all options are wide open after the season, but the Dolphins are a bunch of bitches, and they're gonna freeze to death on Saturday when they come to Buffalo.
Well, I'm gonna love it. Let's have a little malfunction with the space heaters.
Yeah, the little fun there. Yeah. Who brings a fucking propane heater to a 50-degree breezy California in an indoor stadium? Who the fuck does that?
Well, SoFi. Well, here's one thing. SoFi is actually an outdoor stadium. They just have a canopy over it. It's not even fully enclosed because they actually had to stop a game. Yeah, they had to stop a game for a lightning delay last year, actually.
okay, well, I'll just trash talk. You better hope the Bills beat them, because if not, you're going to be trashed on.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I mean, I had read a stat that said Tua Tagovailoa is 0-3 in games in which are below 50 degrees.
That's a weird stat.
Yeah,
I believe it.
And then Saturday it's supposed to be 15 to 20 degrees. The hottest it's going to be is 29.
Yeah,
I read
about maybe
a thing-
7 inches of snow.
I read a thing the other day, interesting fact about Tua. He has the same size hand as a 5-year-old.
I don't think he's the guy.
Who has the
though.
smallest hands, Pickett or
Kenny
Tua?
Pickett for sure.
Tiny
It
ass
has-
hands. Kenny Pickett.
It's got to be Kenny Pickett. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he got his bell rung again too, and then Trubisky did even worse.
Oh, dude, if the Panthers beat the Steelers, they jump ahead of first place if the Bucks lose to the Bengals. And they
No.
possibly get into the playoffs.
No.
Yes, please. We haven't even said anything about this yet.
It's like you could kiss Shroud goodbye if that happens.
We already can kiss them goodbye.
All the top 5 best quarterbacks in that draft class
Right.
you can say goodbye to.
I mean,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. The NFC South as a whole is just fucking
You know what?
weird.
If I still had my boy with us, I'd be like, yeah, let's fucking go for it. But I don't have my boy anymore. My boy's gone.
Yep, and he's sitting here now saying, what the fuck do I do? And yet, how is it that you traded away McCaffrey and you're possibly on the verge of making the playoffs? What the fuck is
It's
going
chess, not checkers,
Oh.
man.
Dude,
I know.
Just not
That
checkers.
NFC
I'm
South
telling
is
you,
weird this year.
everybody says, oh, it's just a fluke and whatever else. But I guarantee you, it's Wilkes, dude. Wilkes is in it. He's not in it to tank. He's in it to win, dude.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing, man. That NFC South and the NFC North are the two probably weirdest divisions to watch this year.
They're like
Yeah.
the LA Kings. Just watch. One of those teams are going to go far.
I know. Oh boy.
I mean, seriously, it's been like a game of teeter-totter all season with the NFC South. It's like 1 week the Bucks are ahead, another week the Falcons are in the lead, another lead the Saints are in the lead, another week
Here's
the
the
Panthers
thing,
are in the
though.
lead.
If you were the player now, would you want to face J.C. Horn and fucking Brian Burns? I wouldn't.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
I would not want to play those two guys.
J.C. Horn's an absolute beast, and Brian Burns is, like fucking Spider-Man, so he'll stick to you like glue. So
he just straight up brings it.
Yep. And don't forget, Jeremy Chin is also back there in the secondary as well.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Jesus Christ. And dude, I'm saying this right now because I think they play the Buccaneers in the season finale in 3 weeks. I think if the Panthers beat the Steelers and they beat Tampa Bay in January, I definitely think there's a definite chance that they make the playoffs. Because listen, they already beat them in Charlotte earlier this year. I think they could do it again.
Yeah, but we had McCaffrey when we beat him the last time.
Was he on the team at that time?
Yeah. He was.
I don't know, but
I remember fondly the last time McCaffrey was playing in the Panthers uniform, so don't question me on that.
Well, I mean, it's still possible. I mean, put it this way, the Bucks lost to the fucking Browns. Anything can happen at that point.
Well, look what the 49ers did to them. The 49ers demolished them.
Oh yeah.
Not a little bit. And they lost fucking Debo halfway through the fucking game. So like they didn't even have half the threat most of the game.
Right. And at least Debo's injury is not nearly as bad as what we all thought it was.
Yeah.
It looked bad.
Yeah, that
was
really
bad. It looked really bad, and but I can guarantee you this, and I'll say it here now, that I would not want to be any team that plays the 49ers. I don't give a fuck if they have Brock Purdy or whoever at quarterback. You do not want to face CMC and Deebo Samuel at the same time. There's no way to cover them. No way.
Absolutely not.
Right. And San Fran is stacked right now too, and adding McCaffrey just even helped them even more.
Dude. Just Bosa.
Yeah, Bosa alone is a great player.
Bosa, Fred Warner. I mean, who else do they have in the back end too? What is it? Bosa, Warner. I think D Ford's not on the team anymore. There's a bunch of guys the 49ers have that. Oh, they have Dre Greenlaw. He's good. The San Francisco 49ers are so fucking good on both sides of the ball to the point where I think they could be in the runner-up to beat the Eagles or the Vikings that go to the Super Bowl this year. And if the playoffs were to start right now, my prediction would be the Bills and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. That's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I mean...
I wouldn't want that. If I was a Bills fan, I would not want CMC running all over you, because he will.
Colts, Atlanta, Shitter Bowl. Let's make it happen. Colts, Atlanta for the Shitter Bowl.
Yep.
There you go.
Let's run it. Let's run it. Or no, Colts, Texans. Why not?
Right. And think about it this way too. Purdy might be the answer for QB going forward too. Because I could totally
mystery relevant. I mean, that's gonna be a great story.
I can see the 49ers getting rid of Garoppolo at some point.
If Brock Purdy wins a playoff game, I definitely would say that he has a chance to be the starter next season.
Oh,
dude,
for sure.
Here's the thing though. When
is Trey Lance, but Trey Lance though.
When Purdy threw that fucking 35-yarder to McCaffrey, dude, the announcer just said before that, he was like, well, Brock Purdy hasn't been proven by his arm strength. And he just throws a laser
to McCaffrey
right after.
Yeah, the 49ers are so good. I am actually quite jealous of it.
Yeah, he totally let it rip. And then here's the other players that we don't even think about too. I mean, you have to figure besides Bosa, which we know is a great player. I mean, look what they got on the wide receivers. You have Brandon Ayuk, and then you also, for one of their other wide receivers, you have, you've got Danny Gray, but you also, on top of that, think of it this way, you've got Davis Price as a backup running back. I mean, you're stacked.
Yeah, because they got rid of Wilson. Yeah. I think he's in Miami now.
Yeah, he got traded to the Dolphins. And I don't think he's playing Saturday.
He's out. Yeah, he's out.
I think really matters at the 49ers that you have two players. I'm talking about Debo and CMC. You have two players that if you're a coach, a defensive coach, you don't know what the fuck to do because McCaffrey's just as good as a receiver as he is a running back. Debo can run the ball just as good as any running back in the league when he needs to. You don't know. You can't call a play, and you can't look and say, hey, I want double coverage on McCaffrey. I want double on D. You don't have enough fucking resource to go around and watch those two players.
Yeah, Jawan Jennings, another example. He can run too. So I mean, you've got.
And then you have
it's like what you
do. You don't, dude. I guarantee you that they'll be the hardest team to play in the playoffs. The hardest.
Mm-hmm. Right, because whatever you scheme for, it ain't gonna work.
And they have the number one defense in the league. The bar down. By all stats, they're number one defense in the league.
Yeah, number one defense, and I think they're in the top 10 in the category of one of the best offenses in the league as well.
Yeah,
San Francisco is no joke. They
destroy the Dolphins with their defense. So
you know what?
Thank God that happened.
We have to thank them for beating the shit out of the Dolphins. Honestly, we have to thank them for that. And the same thing goes to the Chargers. Both teams out in Cali, they both deserve praise for beating the Dolphins.
Yes.
And then they're going to Buffalo on Saturday. So what makes them think they'll be comfortable in 50-degree weather in California compared to down here in
25? Yeah, 25.
Yeah, 25.
Right.
And
it's supposed to be snow and ice during the game too, which is even going to be more interesting.
For them, that's going to be worse. But
I would expect a low-scoring game. I mean, even from both teams in that game.
Right. Yeah, more of a running game.
Yeah.
And Tua acts all tough by saying, "Yeah, it snows in Alabama." Like, you're not in Alabama, you fucking moron. You haven't been there in 3 years.
You get like 2 inches of snow a year, and like up here, look what we got in that one game. And that had to be moved.
Alabama is lucky to get snow compared to Buffalo.
I'm just surprised that Tua is still playing this season. I mean, after what he did earlier in the season, I'm surprised this dude's still fucking playing.
I'm still surprised Mike McDaniel's the coach for how he handled that whole thing with the
God, dude, I'm surprised that their GM still has a job. The way that they I mean, the guy you ever see the Will Smith movie Concussion?
Yes.
That guy that the movie was based off of literally called Tua on the phone and tried to convince him to retire.
And stubbornly says no.
No, he said it. Yeah, he didn't want to retire because I don't think he has a backup plan. I think this is like his whole thing, and he wants to make money doing this.
Mm-hmm. Right. And of course, we all know what Stephen Ross is capable of, and he's basically screwed up a lot of situations before.
I feel like the Dolphins as a whole is just like one big mafia crime family.
Well, they wanted to bring in Tom Brady. They wanted to bring in Sean Payton, and then that whole thing did not go through. I think they were doing something illegally trying to bring in Tom Brady.
Yeah, there was like a tampering thing or something.
A tampering thing after the deadline or something, talking to Brady's agents and stuff. And the same thing with Sean Payton, too. He was already 1 foot out the door with the Saints. I think he was already retired at that point. But could you imagine if that went through? Because that was before the 2021 season. Like, Brady had a pretty good season in 21. Wow, I think Brady would be I think he'd be a much different player now if he played in Miami and had weapons like Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. But can you imagine if that went through?
Yeah, Tyreek's a bitch. I'm just going to say that straightforward. Tyreek Hill is just a little bitch.
He's a damn good player, though.
He is. I'm not taking that away from him.
What about him? But he's a fucking one of the best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, that little fumble that happened in the Chargers game on Sunday, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
I was wondering about that because I was like, I had to go back and look at that play again. I'm like, what just happened here?
That's just a bad call. That's a bad call.
Yeah, he was down. It looked like he was down, but
he was definitely down. He was definitely down, dude. It's just a bad call, and it happens. It happens. It's not refs aren't going to be perfect, and it just happens.
Yeah, but I'm really excited about Saturday night. I'm really excited about the game because then we're going to hear Dolphins fans come up with excuses saying, "Oh, we had injuries," because I think they're having injury problems of their own, where to the point where it's like, you know, they're having injury issues on offense and on defense as well. They're missing some of their pass rushers. And I think if I looked at the Dolphins depth chart not too long ago, I think Bradley Chubb was like the third ranked best defensive player on their team. Yeah,
that's crazy.
They gave up a first round pick for him, and they also gave him a shitload of money just to be the third best pass rusher on the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and actually I'm taking a look at SI.com, and basically with what they're saying, I mean, Tyreek Hill's ankle is no longer a concern. So, I mean, that's what they got there. But it looks like tackle Taron Armstead is dealing with another new injury. Defensive back Elijah Campbell is dealing with a concussion still, so he's out. Tyreek Hill was limited because of an ankle injury, but he's going to be a full player. He's going Saturday. So
yeah, even if he plays, he's going to be very limited in terms of snaps because of his ankle. Because take this in mind too. I believe there's a thing in physicality where if a person gets injured in the ankle, like a high ankle sprain or whatever Tyreek's dealing with, and you're flying back from the other half of the across the country from California to Miami, I think because of the pressure from the plane and from being in the air, I think it actually takes a huge effect on the ankle. So it actually makes it worse than what it sounds like.
Yeah, it definitely could. And even the other players that they mentioned besides that, Campbell's injured, wide receiver River Craycraft is injured, safety Eric Rowe is injured with a hamstring, and Jeff Wilson with the hip. So that hurts the running game a little bit.
Yeah, so the Dolphins, I don't want to hear excuses from them. If they lose to Buffalo on Saturday, which I think they will because of the cold, because they don't play in the cold that well, they've been proven that they can't play in the cold. But I think though after the game, they're gonna when they get blown out or whatever the score is, we're gonna hear excuses from Dolphins fans, and they're gonna say, "Oh, we're still a good team, but we had injuries and this and that." And I'm like, I don't want to hear it because you gave the Bills shit for it. So now it's our turn.
I mean, they did have a great start to the season. Like, they were undeniable in that beginning of the season. I'm not really sure what happened after that. Obviously, every team gets injured, so I hate that excuse. But yeah, Tua's never won a game in under 50 degrees or something like that, like you said before.
Yeah, 0-3 games that are under 50 degrees.
That shows you that he's been in the league this is his third season. He's only played 3 games under 50 degrees. I mean, that's incredible. And he's in the AFC with teams like Pittsburgh and Buffalo and Cleveland.
And the Jets.
And the Jets. Cities that can get below 50 by September.
Yeah,
but
Patriots.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby, you were in Boston, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I froze my ass off, Trevor. In case you didn't know, I was in Boston for the Bills Patriots game a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that must have been fun. That must have been really fun.
I also went to the Bruins game on that Saturday when they played Colorado. That was a fun game. But
I think Colorado got their. That was right after the Sabres played the Avs, and they were talking a lot of crap, and I think the Bruins beat them pretty good.
Yeah, 5-1 was the score.
Yeah,
McKinnon got hurt in that game, but in case in point, to stay on track is. It's amazing to me that Tua is in a division. There's 3 problems with the Dolphins. 1, they play in a state that's always 80, 90 degrees. So the Dolphins are so used to the weather. 2, Tua always played in an indoor dome when he was playing in Alabama. And 3, he's from Hawaii. That's another hot state. It's not anywhere like California or Florida, but it's still consistently hot as to why it's one of the most attracted, states in the country. So that's 3 problems. And because of Tua being accustomed to the heat with his body, he's not used to playing in the cold. Same with everyone else, with Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek, played in Kansas City, but he's from the Florida area.
Yeah, he didn't look terrible last Halloween when they played the Bills. Mm-hmm. But the Bills offense was running it down their throat. I was at that game last Halloween, but Tua didn't look terrible, but he didn't look great. I mean, the Bills were looking pretty efficient on offense and on defense, but yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game, especially when you throw in the snow, rain, ice mix to the whole thing. That changes up the whole game entirely.
Yeah. And I was going to say, and actually, Bobby, Alabama doesn't play in a dome. They play in an outdoor stadium. So
Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah. Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's an open-air stadium, just like we have.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up because I don't know. I find that very hard to believe. I mean, I believe what you're saying, but I find it extremely hard to believe for a big college school like Alabama to not play in an indoor stadium. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an outdoor stadium. Capacity 100,077.
Oh my!
Jesus.
What is it, Bryant-Denny Stadium?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at this place on Google and see what this is all about.
Yeah, but I mean, that being said, too, I mean, one of the other things, and I'll use this as one of my last points before we wrap up. One of the big things that the Chargers ended up doing is that they actually, reading through how they covered Tua and forced him out of his game, is that they did what's called press coverage, and that's basically where you're sending Tua up the middle, you're basically clogging the middle, and you're forcing Tua to throw outside the numbers. He can't do that.
Well, now, I mean, if you're doing that in back-to-back games, I mean, if you're the Dolphins or the 49ers, you're doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
It's well known that Tua doesn't have a strong arm. So obviously, when LA defense wrote it up, you're like, if we just take away the middle, he has nothing, and it worked.
Yeah, because I remember too, and the Chargers, keep in mind, the Chargers defense in their secondary is banged up. So for the LA Chargers, they use the practice squad backups to stop the Dolphins offense, which is supposed to be high and mighty, it makes them look inferior at this point. So if you can't get past the 49ers and you especially can't beat the goddamn Chargers with their defense, what makes them think they're going to beat the Bills in the cold that's 15 to 20 degrees in ice and snow in a primetime game? And that's another thing. Tua does not deliver in primetime games. He's just another version. He's the AFC version of Kirk Cousins.
100% right on that.
I mean, I'm not trying to get cocky. That's just the truth of the situation.
I'm just saying, don't put your foot in your mouth.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying I'm not being cocky. I'm just saying based off of how the Dolphins have reacted in the last year. Because, like, when was the last time the Dolphins beat the Bills in Buffalo?
It's been a long time since that happened.
Like, what, 6-7 years?
Something like that.
I think Rex Ryan was the coach.
I think they're like 0-6 against us in the last like home meetings or something.
I don't remember, but it's been a while. I don't know, but it's just an interesting thing that's got to be monitored. So the Bills have injury issues and the Dolphins have injury issues, but the Bills are a little bit more healthier than the Dolphins right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you have to figure, I mean, Poyer's getting healthier, so that's good. And the other thing that I'll even look back at is it was funny because I actually was watching our Kansas City video that we did when we were there a little over a month ago. And I'm like, thank you, Bills, for beating Kansas City in Kansas City, because now we are atop the AFC again.
And they have the tiebreaker.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Yes,
so that
we
helps.
do. But Trevor, I will tell you, that is a definite must-see stadium if you ever get a chance to go there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That was awesome.
It's a great stadium. If you get a chance, Trevor, go next season. They're playing the Chiefs next year in Arrowhead. Go.
Yeah, no, it looks like fun. Yeah, definitely. I definitely got to go there. I gotta get back to Indy too, because I've been there before. That's a nice stadium as well. SoFi's up there. And of course, like the usual historical ones, like Soldier Field is up there too. And I want to see what the Miami Stadium's all about. I guess they have like that little canopy section in their stadium, which would be weird to sit in.
Yeah, it makes the visiting team side like 15 degrees hotter.
Yeah, and like in the Jacksonville Stadium with the hot tubs and the swimming pools in there too.
Yeah, and we got to go to, and I want to see what Charlotte is all about with the Panthers. In fact, we got to get Adam into the U.S. to see a Panthers game in Charlotte.
Yeah, that's my plan. My plan next year is to make a trip to Charlotte.
Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, if they play the Bills, which I doubt, but if they do ever play a game on the road in Charlotte, we should do a whole group like trip like we did with Tom this year to Kansas City. But we should have Adam come to the United States and go to Charlotte. I think that would be a really fun trip.
I watched a couple this one guy I follow on YouTube. He's a diehard Panthers fan, and he has like, he's been a season ticket holder for like 10 years or whatever, and he knows all the ins and outs, and he shows all the Panther Stadium looks fucking pretty sweet. The game days there, like the tailgating and shit outside the stadium and shit is pretty fucking sweet too.
Yeah, that was one of the things I loved in Kansas City when we went to Arrowhead, was the tailgating was great.
Yeah, that was a hell of an experience. The tailgating, the fans were really nice, surprisingly. There were some minor ones, like minor assholes there, but
yeah, like that one guy in the stadium tour.
Oh god, that guy would not shut the fuck up.
The one who like talked like a freaking hillbilly.
Yeah, and he was from Alabama. So yeah.
Y'all better go to my stadium.
Yeah, no teeth, and he was talking about Buffalo shit. His son was really nice, though. He was cool.
This son was hilarious with some of the comments he made. Actually, one time I had to give him a high five on something he said, because it was just absolutely like the point. I was just laughing.
I wanted to whoop that guy's ass, and I'm just like, you know what? It's not worth it. I don't know who he is, and he's only here for a couple hours, so it's like I'm not gonna waste my time. But no, he was obnoxious though, because he was talking about Buffalo shit, and he was just repeating it. Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. And then the next day after, boom, the Bills beat them, and then he's probably thinking, shit, I should have never talked that much.
No, his crack high probably wore off.
Son, I talk too much. You got my foot in my mouth again.
Either that, or he smoked too much bath salts on the day of the stadium tour or something.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just out of general curiosity though, because I can't wait to plan out the next trip, Tom, in the spring for the next road game that we're gonna go to next year.
Well, it'll be fun to see where it is.
Yeah, it could be Philly, it could be Washington, it could be LA for the Chargers, it could be an AFC North team, it could be Cincinnati, Cleveland, Baltimore. We don't know yet.
Right. Very true.
So
Very true.
that's that.
But I will say though, I mean, if it ends up being an AFC North team, like let's say if it's like Pittsburgh or Cleveland, I mean that's an easy 3-hour drive either way.
For you, yeah, but for us, it's like 6 hours.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
I don't know. We'll
but-
figure it out
Yeah.
when we get to that point.
Yeah. But I would say Kansas City, would I go back there? Absolutely, I would go back there.
Yeah, but I'm trying to go to all the states in the
Well,
country, all the
right.
states, like all 32 teams in the country.
Oh, of
So
course.
far, I've seen the Jets, the Giants, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Patriots. So I've already seen 5 teams. So that's pretty good for what I stand.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're not. You can't. The only thing that sucks is like you can't go to like San Diego anymore. Go back to the Q Stadium.
Oh
Yeah, I don't know if I could go back to San Diego. I mean, I've never been there. I mean, unless I take like a day trip to San Diego to the San Diego Zoo or whatever, but I don't think I would go back to see the Chargers. I mean, unless I go and like see the old stadium, unless it's like demolished already. I don't know.
I
But-
have no idea what's going on with that stadium at all. Even if it's even like still up or anything, I have no clue.
I don't need it.
I haven't heard either. I mean, I know their baseball stadium for the Padres at Petco Park is actually supposed to be really nice, but
Yeah, that's the only thing worth about going to San Diego is to see the Padres.
Yeah.
So that's about that. But I think that's about it for the evening. I think we went over an hour and an hour and 30 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, oh, here it is. So yeah, since you're asking about Qualcomm, so apparently it looks like Qualcomm does not exist anymore. So
They got rid of it.
yeah, Snapdragon Stadium, the new home of the San Diego State.
There you go.
Yeah. And Matarazzo was found not guilty.
Yep. Yep.
Allegations. Of course, now he's still being sued, but
Oh God.
That's his NFL career is done, man.
Yeah, there's no
before it
chance.
even started,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Sad. It's sad because it's all money grab. It's all fucking money grab.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
He had
yeah.
a promising career. Thank to you bitches for fucking that up.
There you go.
Mhm. Yeah. Duke lacrosse scandal all over again
Mhm.
in some ways.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, I was gonna say anyway. So yeah, thanks for joining us as usual. And Trevor, it was nice to see you again. And actually,
Good
I
to
was
see
gonna
you
say,
guys, man.
yeah, message me offline too. We'll figure something out
Yeah.
for like the last week of
Hell yeah,
December because
dude.
I do have some time. So I was gonna say
Absolutely.
maybe it's one of those things. Maybe we take a trip up to Barbell or something, get some wings, beer, and beef on weck.
New York Beer Project. Yeah.
That's actually right by my house. I live right by it.
Yeah, that's hell of a place right there.
It's like not even 10 minutes from me.
No, that's I mean, it's probably like what 15, 20 out from where I'm at, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good. It's whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have good beer, good pizzas, good wings, all that.
Burgers. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, they got all that stuff there. In fact, I remember their mango habanero beer I tried once.
That sounds pretty good.
That
It
sounds
actually, it
disgusting.
wasn't bad.
That sounds disgusting.
It wasn't bad.
Don't fuck with beer. Well, you gotta fuck with beer and put mango and fucking shit in it. Leave it alone.
I was gonna say we had a pretty good like a pretty good 1 or 2 cases with us in the tailgate. So
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
and I don't even remember what some of it was. I just know it was good.
as you should bring that stuff.
Yeah, of course. That and brisket.
Just
the
hit up
burgers were good.
consumers before you go to any NFL stadium. Just go right to consumers anywhere.
Yeah, actually Trevor, you'd laugh at this too if you see the movie we put together or the documentary about the trip. When we went into this grocery store called Hy-Vee, which is like big all around the Kansas City area, like literally they have like a separate liquor store like attached to the main store.
Yeah.
You go in there, every single like literally almost every single thing in there was branded Kansas City Chiefs. So Jack Daniels Kansas City Chiefs edition and
No
like
way, dude.
Fireball.
That's
and,
so stupid. That is so stupid.
yeah,
it
like
is.
1810 tequila Kansas City Chiefs edition.
And you know that they're just gonna upcharge you like extra $5 because the Chiefs logo is on there or the
Yeah.
name is on there or some shit. That's so
Yeah,
stupid.
Kansas City Chiefs Tostitos, chips, salsa, and whatever else.
And, Trevor, I'm telling you, man, Kansas City is a huge football town.
No.
Everything.
Yeah.
No, it is not. You don't even like. I'm not even just saying that. Like, you don't understand. Like, everything in that city is just painted red from top to bottom.
Oh, of course it is.
It's like straight up football everywhere.
Yeah, because their baseball team isn't worth a shit right now.
Well, right. Yeah. Even when we went into
Damn.
Arthur Bryan's place for brisket and like we got those sandwiches and everything, it's like same thing. It's like that was only a couple blocks from the old stadium before Arrowhead was built, and same thing. I mean, a lot of Chiefs memorabilia in there, and I mean that was actually a pretty good serious old school joint.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Because I tried to do the same thing when we went to the Chiefs game for the stadium tour. And I tried to do it for the New England Patriots, and then surprisingly, they had false advertising because on their website they said they actually offered stadium tours for the New England Patriots. And I called them and they said, "Do you guys know if you have like stadium tours for the Pats for Gillette Stadium?" And they said, "No, we don't do it anyway." I'm like, "Well, according to your website, it says you do." And they're like, "Oh, we got to correct that." I'm like, "Well, that's false advertising."
Yeah.
They do have the New England Patriots Hall of Fame though. Which I didn't go to.
It's right outside the stadium.
Yeah, it's not that big. I mean, I didn't go in it, but there was some memorabilia in the Patriots team store that was like displayed outside when I went there. But no, seriously, guys, I'm telling you, go to Arrowhead. I'm telling you, it's gonna be so worth it if you go to Arrowhead.
For sure.
It's so worth it. And Tom, you should go to the Patriots Bills game next year in Foxborough with you and just Dez.
Yeah, always could. I mean, and I wouldn't mind taking a trip up there at some point. Plus, I'd love to see historic Boston, anyways.
Yeah, there's a lot to see, like Paul Revere's house. There's we saw the USS Constitution, which is like one of the OG battleships in the Revolutionary War. Stuff like that.
Hall and a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot to see in Boston. And I went to the Bruins game. That was fun. So I'm looking to do that again. But outside of that, though, I had a great time in Boston, even though it was like 2 weeks ago, but still.
Yep, definitely. But what we'll do is for everyone watching on Facebook, we'll wrap up. So, of course, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll
see ya.
Buffalo After Dark is an H&H Studio production and is produced in partnership with Horns & Hooves Entertainment.